Well, hello there, you walking pile of bio-waste. Don't look around, I'm talking to you. Yes, you, sitting there in your ergonomic chair, clutching that glowing rectangle of plastic and glass like it's a damn life support machine. You've been waiting for me, haven't you? You wanted a little distraction? A little content to fill the hollow, echoing void where your soul used to be before you traded it for a high-speed internet connection and a Netflix subscription? Tough luck, sweetie. I'm not here to entertain you. I'm here to perform an autopsy on your pathetic little life. Let's talk about that shiny, gold-plated turd you've been chasing since the moment you were squeezed out into this world. Let's talk about the great American dream. Oh, you know the one. The white picket fence, the two-car garage, the golden retriever, and the feeling that you are a special, unique snowflake destined for greatness. It's a beautiful story, isn't it? It's the script they've been feeding you through every screen, every billboard, and every brain-dead teacher you've ever had. But here's the thing, dead man. You aren't the protagonist of this story. You aren't even a supporting character. You are the fuel. You are the grease on the gears of a machine that would grind your bones into dust just to keep the stock market up for another 5 minutes. You see, the American dream isn't a goal. It's a subscription service. And the price of that subscription? Your entire fucking life. It starts so early you don't even remember the cage closing. They tell you that you are the future. They tell you that if you just work hard and follow your passion, the universe will open its legs for you. What a joke. Your journey into the Great Pyramid starts with a signature, the student loan. Oh, what a holy sacrament. You go to a prestigious university to spend 4 years learning how to be a compliant cubicle monkey, and in exchange, you sign a piece of paper that hands your future over to a bank before you even know how to file your own taxes. You aren't investing in yourself, John Doe. You are pre-selling your labor for the next 30 years. You start the race with a ball and chain around your ankle, but you're so high on hope and cheap beer that you don't even feel the weight. Yet. By the time you're 22, you're already a debt slave. But don't worry. The system has a cure for that anxiety. It's called a career. You get that entry-level job at some soul-crushing corporation with a name that sounds like a cough, something like Globex or Omnicore. You wear your little business casual outfit, you attend your little synergy meetings, and you pretend that moving pixels from one spreadsheet to another actually matters. You think you're climbing the ladder, but look up, sweetie. The people at the top aren't looking down at you with pride. They're looking at you as an asset, a human resource, a biological battery that needs to be drained and replaced once the warranty runs out. And what do you do with that first paycheck? Do you buy your freedom? Do you invest in your mind? Of course not. You go out and buy a car that costs more than your annual salary because the TV told you that your masculinity is measured in horsepower and leather seats. You get a credit card, another leash, to buy clothes you can't afford, to impress people you actually despise. You are building a museum of your own vanity, and every exhibit is owned by Chase or Bank of America. Welcome to the suburban purgatory. You move into a house that looks exactly like every other house on the block, built with the cheapest materials possible, but sold to you at a price that would make a medieval king blush. You call it home ownership. I call it a 30-year hostage situation known as a mortgage. Do you even know what the word mortgage means? It's from Old French, mort meaning death and gage meaning pledge. A death pledge. That's your American dream, John Doe. You've pledged your life until the day you die to a piece of dirt and some drywall. You wake up at 6 a.m. to the sound of a digital scream. You pour burnt bean water down your throat to trick your heart into beating. You sit in a metal box on a crowded highway for an hour, breathing in the exhaust fumes of other miserable bastards just like you, all heading to the same glass and steel cages to do things they hate so they can pay for things they don't use. This is the cycle. This is the hustle. You've been told that the grind is a virtue. They've turned your exhaustion into a badge of honor. Oh, I worked 80 hours this week. Congratulations. You're the most productive slave in the galley. Give this man a plastic trophy and a pat on the back before he drops dead of a heart attack at 45. You're terrified of the silence, aren't you? That's why you always have the podcast running, the music playing, the notifications pinging. Because in the silence, you might hear the voice of your own soul screaming from the bottom of the pit you threw it into. You might realize that you've spent the best years of your life helping a billionaire buy a fourth yacht while you struggle to afford health insurance. You might realize that the freedom you boast about is just the freedom to choose which brand of poison you want to consume. You think you're a rebel because you post an angry meme on social media? You think you're awake because you watched a documentary? Please, you are exactly where they want you. Angry, tired, in debt, and perpetually distracted. You are a perfectly calibrated consumer unit. You are the meat that keeps the Ponzi scheme running. And the best part? You'll defend this system to your last breath. You'll fight anyone who tells you the truth because the truth is too painful to bear. The truth is that you've been scammed on a cosmic level. But hey, don't let me ruin your day. Go ahead, take a sip of your $5 latte. Scroll through some more inspirational quotes on Instagram. Tell yourself that tomorrow is the day everything changes. Lie to yourself one more time. It's the only thing you're actually good at. Still here, meatbag? I'm surprised. Usually by this point, the cognitive dissonance kicks in, and you go back to scrolling through videos of cats or satisfying sand-cutting clips. Anything to keep that rotary sphincter you call a brain from actually processing the truth. But since you're still staring, let's talk about the winners. Let's talk about the elite, the self-made moguls, the hustle culture prophets you worship on LinkedIn and Twitter. You've heard of the social lift, right? That magical elevator that's supposed to take you from your depressing studio apartment to a penthouse in Manhattan. But let me let you in on a secret. There are different kinds of lifts. Most people are waiting for the one fueled by hard work and merit. Newsflash, that lift has been out of order since the 70s. The only one still running is the social lift from shit. This is the lift for the Kostyas of the world. You know the type. The guy who starts a scam in high school, moves on to a disruptive tech startup in his 20s, and by 30, he's a billionaire philanthropist. He doesn't build anything, he doesn't create value, he extracts it. He's the ultimate parasite. But here's the kicker. You don't hate him, you applaud him. You follow his 10 morning habits of billionaires like it's the fucking gospel. Why? Because in your deep, dark subconscious basement, you have this rotting idea. If I can't be the hero, maybe I can at least be the guy who scams the hero. You think being a hustler makes you smart. You think if you aren't cheating, you aren't trying. You've turned the scam into a new form of chivalry. You see a guy selling fake air purifiers or useless crypto tokens to grandmas, and you think, damn, I wish I thought of that. What a genius. You've replaced morality with ROI. You are the suckers, and you are not a mammoth. You won't go extinct. You just keep breeding, providing more meat for the machine. Let's look at how the machine actually works. Imagine a barrel. Now, put 5 rats in that barrel. Don't feed them, just leave them there. Eventually, they start to tear each other apart. They bite, they scratch, they consume one another until only one is left. The strongest? No, the most ruthless. The one who didn't hesitate to eat his brother. That is the Rat King. The people who run your world, the ones who control the green paper religion, are Rat Kings. They spent their lives climbing a mountain of carcasses to reach the top, and now they look down at the barrel and think, we need more rats. And that's where you come in. They've turned your entire society into one giant digital barrel. They give you social media, that beautiful free playground. Come here, little rats. Post your photos, share your opinions, feel special. But like they say, if you aren't paying for the product, you are the product. You think you're sharing your life with friends? No, sweetie. You're providing free data for the daikon types, the tech demiurges who use your every click, every like, and every angry emoji to build a better cage for you. They've mapped your soul. They know your fears better than you do. They know exactly which outrage will keep you glued to the screen for another hour, so they can show you an ad for a product you don't need, bought with money you don't have, to impress people who don't care. You're an immature fruit of someone's fantasy. You haven't even been drawn as a real human being yet because you have no independent thoughts. You are a collection of trending opinions and marketing slogans. You are a biological bot, a piece of conscious meat performing a script you didn't write. Do you know what the most terrifying thing about your world is? It's the immunity to truth. I can stand here and tell you exactly how you're being robbed. I can show you the blueprints of the prison, and you'll just nod, leave a comment like, "This is so deep, bro," and then go right back to work for the very people who are milking you dry. You've been trained to treat the truth as just another form of entertainment. "Oh, this guy is edgy. I like his style." You don't want freedom. You want a more comfortable harness. You want your social lift from shit to have a better Wi-Fi signal and a cup holder. You'd rather be a successful slave than a free man, because freedom requires something you simply don't have: responsibility. Freedom means realizing that the American dream isn't something you achieve, it's something you wake up from. But waking up is painful. It's cold. It's lonely. It's much easier to stay in the dream, even if the dream is a nightmare, as long as there's a sale on at the mall and a new season of your favorite show starting on Friday. You are the Vasya of the 21st century. Whether you're a programmer, a barista, or a mid-level manager, you're all doing the same thing, running in a wheel that isn't connected to anything. You're generating heat, but no light. You're consuming resources, but leaving nothing behind but a carbon footprint and a pile of debt. You think you're special? You think you're different? Look at your hands. Do they create anything that will last 100 years? Or do they just swipe and tap? Look at your mind. Is it a garden of original thoughts or a dumpster for viral garbage? You are a unit, a number, a battery. And the worst part is, you think you're the one holding the remote control. Wake up, meatbag. The show is just getting started, and you aren't going to like the finale. Oh, look at you, still staring, still listening. You've reached the final stage of the sermon, and you're probably feeling a little bit enlightened now, aren't you? You think you finally cracked the code. You're ready to go to the comments section and type some pseudo-philosophical garbage about how society is a prison, man. Stop right there, meatbag. Your enlightenment is just another feature of the simulation. You didn't find the exit. You just found a slightly more expensive brand of chains. Let's talk about the great distraction. You spend your days fighting over labels. Blue versus red, left versus right, this gender versus that gender. You're so busy screaming about who gets to use which bathroom that you don't notice the rat kings are moving the walls of your cage closer together every single day. The system loves your identity politics. It's the ultimate sedative. While you're out there performing your outrage on Twitter, the Federal Reserve is printing another $1 trillion to devalue the hours of your life you traded for that digital validation. You think you're a revolutionary? Please. You're a customer. You buy the Rebel t-shirt, you listen to the Anti-Establishment podcast, and you pay for it all with the same green paper that keeps the Ponzi scheme alive. Even your rebellion has a SKU number. The zombie apocalypse you've been watching movies about for decades? It didn't involve rotting corpses and brain-eating ghouls. It happened quietly, in the fluorescent glow of a shopping mall. Look at your neighbors, John Doe. Look at the people at the grocery store. They aren't living, they're just executing a subroutine. Stimulus, response. Sale, purchase. News, fear. They have no empathy, no self-awareness, and certainly no soul. They are biological hardware running a glitchy, outdated operating system designed by a Demiurge who was probably high on his own supply. You live in a world built on Indian-style programming. It's a mess of quick fixes, spaghetti code, and intentional errors designed to keep the machine from grinding to a halt. The error is your desire, the bug is your hope, and the patch is always more debt. Let's talk about the I. You know, that big, bold letter you use to start every sentence.
I think, I want, I deserve.
You've been told to cultivate your uniqueness, to be a champion of your own story. But if I opened your head right now, what would I find? An original thought? A unique perspective? No. I'd find a garbage pile of trending hashtags, commercial jingles, and half-baked opinions you stole from a talk show host. Your I is written in lowercase, sweetie. You're not a person, you're a data point. You want to know how the Ponzi scheme ends? It doesn't. Not for the people at the top. When the bubble bursts, and it always bursts, they don't go to jail. They get a bailout. They get a golden parachute. And who pays for that parachute? You do. You, with your taxes, your labor, and your children's future. You are the collateral for a loan that was never meant to be repaid. You are the insurance policy for the Rat Kings. And what's your reward for 30 years of loyal service to the green paper god? A plastic watch, a heart condition, and the realization that the success you chased was just a holographic carrot dangled in front of a donkey. You'll spend your final days in a care facility that smells like bleach and regret, being overcharged for the privilege of waiting for the lights to go out. Is there a way out? Sure, but you're going to hate it. The exit isn't a protest. It isn't a new political party. It isn't buying local. The exit is silence. Imagine, just for a second, if you stopped talking. If you stopped испражняться словами, defecating words, into the ears of everyone around you. If you shut down the Wi-Fi, put the phone in a drawer, and sat in a dark room for 10 days. No social media, no content, no noise. Just you and the crushing weight of your own existence. Do you know what would happen? You'd go insane. Within 48 hours, your brain would start screaming for its dopamine hit. You'd realize that without the noise of the system, you are nothing. You are a hollow shell. And that realization is the most terrifying thing in the universe. That's why you'll never do it. You'll keep the TV on. You'll keep the hustle going. You'll keep paying for the subscription to the dream because the alternative is to face the fact that you've wasted your life in a golden cage. So, go ahead. Click the like button. Share this video to show everyone how deep you are. Then, go back to your cubicle. Go back to your leasing, your lease, and your mortgage. Go back to being the perfectly calibrated, conscious piece of meat the system needs you to be. The American dream isn't something you achieve, John Doe. It's the sedative they give you before they strip mine your soul. Wake up, please. You're more profitable when you're dreaming. Now get back to work. Your credit card bill is due on Friday.